Hey, my name is Ruben.
And I'm Dora.
And I'm Ambrose.
And welcome to North of the Castle podcast, where we talk about all things Disney, Universal, and fun, and adventure, and travel. Today's topic is our favorite Disney movies growing up and their representation in the parks. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited for this one because this is honestly the reason why I think I love Disney so much, is the childhood memories of watching these movies growing up, right?
Oh yeah, like that feeling that you get when you like kind of see those stories come to life that you grew up falling in love with. But before we like jump into it, I just want to ask you guys a question. So right now we have like the projected biggest snowfall of the entire winter here in Toronto. And it's so bad. It's so like it's supposed to be so many centimeters of snow that they actually already closed down schools. Like they've already told us, even though the snow hasn't started falling, that school is canceled for tomorrow. So on days like this, these are the days where I'm like, I just wish I was in the warm Florida weather. I wish I was at Disney World at the parks right now. I wish I was strolling down Main Street at Magic Kingdom, getting an iced coffee from Joffrey's. What are the days that you're like, I really wish I was in the parks?
Ambrose?
I think, it's normally, trying to think. Because I remember seeing this morning, like a video of all the fun things you were doing at the parks. And then you look outside, it's cold, there's ice and everything. And I think it's, for sure, is all basically the winter days and like the really gloomy days when you're just like nothing to do, you're just bored or just not in the greatest mind frame or mindset, and then you're like, it'd be really good if I just open the door and then, or rope dropping, like you have to wake up early because up early sucks, but waking up early to rope drop, that's amazing, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think it's like days like that, like especially with the storm coming, and I have to go to a wedding on Saturday, outdoor wedding, so that's another it's another tough thing, especially for us Canadians here, all the snow. It's not like it's Florida, right, where they have so much. Now I say so much snow. That's sarcasm.
We saw actually when we were at Magic Kingdom the last time we were there, we saw a couple getting married right in front of like not directly in front of the castle, but a little bit off to the side. And it was really cool, like seeing they were finishing off their ceremony just as we were rope dropping. So it was like a very early morning ceremony. But
so they got like the special like access like early.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was so cool. I took like a quick picture as we like snuck by. But yeah, so outdoor weddings in Florida right now would be completely different than your very snowy outdoor wedding this Saturday.
To be honest, I think it's just because we live in Canada and we get snow like 50% of the year. Feels like that, like any place warm. Like, to be honest, it's not Disney particular for me. It's warm. Yeah. Take me to California. Take me to Dubai. Put me in Australia. I'll take anything over the snow personally. I think the perk is just in Florida. You got Disney, and it's like plus, not just plus. So I don't know. That's kind of
yeah.
Okay, so hopping into it. Favorite Disney movies?
I like thinking about this one because I went to what did I enjoy as like a 6-year-old. I think that's where I was kind of going to. Thankfully, my parents were the parents that like let me watch these movies. And so the first one that came to mind, believe it or not, it's actually Hercules.
Yeah. Okay.
Weirdly
nice,
enough,
great choice.
In fact, when I go back and watch it now, it's kind of creepy. In fact, I don't even want to let my kids watch Hercules, to be honest. But
you take that back, Ruben. Continue.
But and to be honest, it's been so long since I've even watched the movie that I don't remember everything. But like I have some like elements of it, and it was just honestly the storytelling, the animation, the jokes, the laughs. It resonated with me as a kid with the highs and the lows and the storyline. And so personally, like I actually love I don't know if it's my number one, but like this is the first one that came to mind when I thought of like which Disney story I enjoy, which movie I enjoyed growing up as a kid. Hercules, I think, is for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. I feel like it's not a very mainstream one.
No.
I didn't grow up watching it too much. Like I've seen it a couple times, but definitely not one I was super familiar with. Ambrose, what was your favorite?
Um, because I'm thinking back, and like you said, Ruben, when we go back as kids, right? I think maybe during that period of time, I watched a lot of movies that were like way before my time, like Snow White and stuff. I just remember being like scarred a little bit by certain like Disney movies.
Yeah.
Okay, not because they're
Lion
bad, but
King.
rather because certain scenes are insanely scary for a little kid. For
Yeah.
example, Snow White when she's in the woods, that is terrifying, right?
Yeah.
And I remember also watching like I think Aladdin 2 Jafar's Revenge or Return or whatever, and that was also terrifying, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
for me the like I think Hercules is a great one because I like Ruben said I agree with you 100%. It's like Hercules is phenomenal. I still reference it a little bit, you know, like when me and my sister are chilling, I'm like, and we're both like having tough days. We look at each other. I'm like, we are worms. We are worms. The scene where pain and panic turn into worms, right? There's that scene, and I just reference that a little bit, right? And I think for me,
That's such a niche like thing to do.
well, hey, that's what we grew up with, and I love that movie, and I made my sister watch it a lot. But I think for me, I think near top three would be Tarzan. Okay, that's also kind of
Yeah.
niche as well.
That's a good one
Tarzan's up
though.
there
Okay.
because one of the reasons why because it was like so awesome growing up as a kid. Swing, like I said last podcast, swinging through trees, amazing. We don't think of like falling and breaking our limbs off like branches, but like, and then what else is there? The songs, Phil Collins, amazing songs
Yeah.
for Tarzan. Okay,
Music in that movie is crazy.
and like I can even like I can still reference exactly what Tarzan teaches Jane to say to the monkeys. It's like I'm not gonna say it because it's gonna be really embarrassing, but it was so good. Great storytelling, phenomenal animation at the time, like swinging through the trees, when they're like his legs or whatever, all like on the branches, everything. Because I remember the director was like he caught he saw his son or like the X Games, you know, at the time, like the skateboarding, everything. So through that, so great movie, great romance, great animals and everything. It's just like the songs were also really. I still listen to it all the time. I can sing every single one of the songs. Amazing. So that I think that's one of my favorite movies,
Yeah.
Disney movies all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a great one.
Wow, you guys are making me think my list.
Aha! It's worked.
Okay, I
She's like, should I go with the princess? I just picked princesses.
no.
We
Okay,
should
so,
do the we listen and we don't judge. You know.
No, judge.
Okay, so I have two. I just changed one of mine based on your guys's your guys's list.
Yes, we're influencing. Nice.
I have two that I grew up with that I'll talk about later, but the first one that comes to mind is a little bit different because this is not a movie that came out when I was a kid. It was like it's a princess story, but it's one that came out much later.
Oh,
but
let me guess.
I love.
Let me guess.
Okay.
Can I guess?
Okay. Yes.
Is it Tangled?
No.
Oh.
That was the other one that I just took off my list.
Tangled is really good.
Tangled is really good.
Underratedly good.
Tangled was
Really good.
it was my number 3, but then when you guys changed my list up, it got demoted.
Okay.
But Tangled is one that I love. The other one is Princess and the Frog.
Wow.
Oh.
I really, really like Princess and the Frog. And it's like not a movie that I grew up with because it came out not that long ago, like what, 10 years ago maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Question mark?
Yeah,
I
no,
need
it's
to
newer.
check that. But it didn't come out that long ago. But and I didn't even watch it when it first came out. It was not one that I was like super interested in watching because it didn't do that well. Like it was like Frozen. Frozen was like a box office hit, so I immediately wanted to watch it, even though I was like an adult at that point. But Princess and the Frog, I watched it for the first time a couple years ago with like Arabella when she was getting ready to go to Disney for the first time. And I was like, I love this movie. This movie's a banger. It's so good.
Yeah.
So that is my current favorite. And I think I like the music for it is also really fun. It's got like dance vibes. Like you can really dance to the music.
Like jazz and stuff like
yeah,
that,
it's jazzy. I like jazz music. I love like everything about New Orleans, like the food and like just the culture there. So I feel like it just was an underrated hit for me.
Yeah, I want to try the food. I think, like, for me...
The beignets?
But I was just about to say, what is that? It's beignets, right?
Yeah,
And they just
beignets.
actually brought that to Magic Kingdom, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You've had the Mickey beignets, right?
No, I've never had the Mickey beignets. Because apparently they only have
Shame.
they apparently only have it out west in
Well,
Disneyland.
They have it at Disneyland. So at Disneyland, right? They have like New Orleans Square,
Yep.
and so they have the beignets there. But in Magic,
Phenomenal. It's
in-
so good. You guys have to try next time you go there.
yeah. So in Magic Kingdom, they don't have. They just brought the beignets because of like the opening of the Tiana ride. Spoiler alert! But they didn't have it before. So the only place you could get the Mickey beignets were at the Port Orleans Resort. So we haven't stayed there, and it's kind of out of the way to like go out of your way to go. So we've never tried them, but that's where they have the same original Mickey beignets that we haven't had yet. But I've heard are really, really good.
They're great.
So
When me and Viv went, she was like one of the top things she was really excited for. And
Yeah.
we went through the whole park and we forgot about it. And we were about to leave, and she was like, no, we have to line up. So it's near the ending closing of the park, we were lining up, and I kid you not, there was like easy like 20 something people lining up before leaving the park to get like a little bag of them. And I was like, should we? She's like, no, we have to. I'm like, okay. And we ate it and did not regret whatsoever because it's so good.
So worth it. Okay.
I think I'm up next.
Yeah, what's your next one? We're doing top 3.
Yeah, top 3. The next one that came to mind was Monsters Inc. Growing up with, Sully and oh gosh, what's the Green Knight name? Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski. Yeah, exactly.
Mike Wazowski. Growing up with those two and Boo and all of the fun. Honestly, here's I think it was just a storyline. It was cute. It was, there was a lot of like it was almost like very like heartfelt because you see these like two creatures that have nothing to do with this child caring for this child like their own. I love that storyline for me personally as a kid growing up, and then introducing that to my kids. I think I love that they love Monsters Inc. I also love the fact that they did the most brilliant thing, and they literally set up a generation, right? They brought out Monsters Inc. way early. I don't even know what year, but it was like decades ago. And then they waited until all of that age group would have been in that university age, and then they dropped Monsters University Inc. And it's almost like the movie grew with you. And it was so cool to be able to grab all of those same like kids from that age group and then pull them into the same. Like, I wanted to watch it purely because of what you did to me as a child. And in a nutshell, like, that's really Disney. They play on the nostalgia, the childhood feelings that you have of the stories that you loved watching and enjoying. And they basically take you to the place of now you get to experience it in real life. And so Monsters Inc. I think is the next one for me.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Like, I got the dates. So Monsters Inc. was released in 2001, which we would have been like in elementary school.
Yeah.
And then Monsters University was 2013, which is...
12 years later.
Yeah, but it was exactly around that time. Like, I graduated high school in 2010, so I would have been in university at the time that Monsters University came out. So it did pull you back in. Yeah. I also looked at the date for Princess and the Frog. So Princess and the Frog was released in 2009. So I would have been in like my last year of high school. But that was that age, right, where you're not really watching animated movies unless they're really like... it's a really big deal and you need to like it's a big box office hit or whatever.
Yeah,
and I think at that time they actually started moving away from more of the old school animation, I believe.
Didn't they start reanimating some of the older ones? Is that the same timing? Like Sleeping Beauty and like some of the really old ones that you go back and you watch now, even on Disney Plus, it's like it's not the same quality.
The remastered?
They remastered it. Yeah. I don't know when they did it.
Like, they brought them back from the vault and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Anyhow, that's my second one.
Okay, Ambrose, your second one.
Ruben keeps stealing mine. Like legit, you've taken like two of them. I would have said Hercules 100%, and also Monster Inc. would have been there too.
Damn.
Man, that makes it so much harder for me. I still have some. But hopefully, like, because we had like two backups, so I have backups. But if
Oh,
Ruben
yeah,
keeps stealing them,
backups.
I
I
have
did
no
not
backups.
think of backups. I'm gonna just move to Universal if I have no backup.
You're lucky. You're the first one to share. It's easier for you, I guess.
Hey, I'm
I
not the
think for
Disney
me-
expert. You two are, so I get the pass.
Sure. I think for me another one would be Cars. Cars is the big one.
Wow,
The first
okay.
Cars.
Okay.
I think it's really cool. Like I didn't grow up loving race cars, but the whole idea, like the world building is phenomenal. Like, oh, actually, can I take that back? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna take it back. You guys are like, what?
Go back.
You still have
Exactly.
one.
And
you
what's
still
your
have one.
second option, Ambrose?
No, it just popped my brain right now. The first Toy Story. I think that would be the right one.
Yeah, bro. I wish I could show you my screen. That was my third one.
So I'm stealing
yes.
that. You can
Nice.
take Cars. I don't know. No, but
Nice.
Cars is phenomenal. But I would say the first Toy Story was really a big one because when you
Yeah.
first watch it as a kid, you're like, oh, even though the animation at times was a bit wonky, right?
In
But
Toy Story?
I think the original one, yeah, no,
Really?
some moments.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Am I thinking of the? Because I've watched so many of like the older clips of like what it, no, I'm thinking the older clips like how they made the first and the original look of Buzz Lightyear. That he's supposed to be a really small little spaceman. But
Yeah.
okay, so it would be Toy Story, the original Toy Story, phenomenal, great story. I think what year did it come out? I'm not sure what year it came out in, but
19
it was like
something.
growing.
19
Yeah,
something for sure.
Yeah, so growing up watching that and the animation at that time, I think it was the first of its real kind of how it
95.
looked like that.
1995.
Oh, sorry,
95.
1995. I would have been very young. I think I was like 4 or 5 years old. Right,
Yeah.
watching that as a kid,
Yeah.
and then, like of course it takes a couple of years, and like you're older and you watch again, and you're like, whoa, this is so good. And one thing I loved about the movie was Pizza Planet. To this day, I realize I love really niche things about certain Pixar films.
Yeah.
Pizza Planet, I love it. I want to have like full decked out clothing. I also really enjoy from Cars, Rusty's, like their brand. Like when I see people wearing t-shirts, I'm like, that's so cool. So, Pizza Planet, love that. I love the whole idea of toys talking,
Yeah.
and you see like you see Andy's room, and you're like, oh, I wish my room looked like that. Over time, it changes, and it's like, wow, it's like it's just a great movie, phenomenal,
Yeah.
great animation, great voice actors. This Tim Allen was
Buzz
really
Lightyear.
good,
Yeah.
and who else? Tom Hanks,
Tom
phenomenal,
Hanks.
really good.
Woody.
Woody, yep, phenomenal.
I love Rex. Who's Rex's voice? With that raspy.
But Rex, I literally have a Rex right there.
Hey.
It looks really, it's like a Disney little. I think it's a hug.
Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, but yeah, no, like Toy Story's up there. Even the first, I say it, okay, the first 3 Toy Stories, phenomenal. Fourth one, but then that's for another day. But yeah, I think Toy Story is so good. So that would be my one of my favorites.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, I like that it kind of depicts that growing up, like the aging of Andy, and he's like, oh, Woody's no longer his favorite. He's no longer his best friend. But then he still has like a soft spot for Woody. Like even though Buzz comes in, he's still like, I still love Woody.
Yeah.
And it also like appeals to every single person, for girls, and there's a character for everyone. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, Toy Story's good. Toy Story's a good one. Okay, my second one. So this is the one that you guys like knocked into onto my list. Emperor's New Groove.
Oh.
That's a great one.
Damn.
Emperor's New Groove was
We
one.
should have made this like top 10.
I know, right? We could just keep going. We could just keep going. But Emperor's
Maybe
New
we'll
Groove.
have a part 2 later next time.
That was one that like I grew up watching, and it was like my whole family loved it, so we would constantly like quote it back to each other,
The lever cronk.
or the
He's a llama. He's supposed to be dead.
Yeah, weird.
I love it.
You threw off my groove, like all those various lines.
You threw
like,
off my groove.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
loved.
you've thrown off the Emperor's groove. And you see him flying out the window.
Sorry.
That is such a good movie. You can't like. There's no topping that. So that was such a good one growing up, and I loved it. And it was. I think what I liked about it was it wasn't that classic story that you get with a lot of Disney stories. It wasn't this fairy tale of like, oh, the princess meets the prince and they fall in love, or like it all, all those things. It's this essentially a villain. Like Cusco starts as like a villain who then has like crazy character development and then ends up being so lovable and like befriends like Pasha and they become like besties, right? You're really rooting for him in the end, but like to start off, you're just like, this bratty, spoiled emperor. Like he deserves everything he's gonna get. So that's a really good one. It's so funny, and Kronk is a character, and you can't.
One of the greatest Disney characters.
Yeah, he's so well written, so well written. So I think like that's probably one of my favorites. That was the one. I wasn't thinking of that one originally. Rapunzel was the one that I was going to put in that spot, but like that one tugged on my heartstrings the second you guys started talking. I'm like, oh, that one came up.
Yeah, that was like think about that movie for a second. I believe that's one of the first Disney animated movies to break the fourth wall. It's called the fourth wall when you speak to the audience who's watching, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's one of the first animated Disney movies to break the fourth wall because it's actually the Emperor, whatever his name is, Cusco, telling the story.
Yeah, he starts off narrating it. He's like, "Here I am."
Yeah, and then it kind of goes back to, and then you kind of catch up with the story. But I think I love the arc, the character arc for him that like makes you feel for him and also for Pacha and his adorable kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
the kids are great.
One.
Yeah. As a mom now, I watched that movie a few times, and I'm totally like identifying with the mom and the kids. I'm like, that's so mean.
Well, she has a scene where she's so angry, she starts snarling. I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like pregnant. She's getting all like angry, and I'm like, I've totally been there.
Yeah.
Okay, last movie for Ruben. Sorry, last round.
Oh man, I didn't think of one because mine got stolen too. My third one, honestly,
Rose stole two of mine, and I'm not saying nothing.
You started it. Honestly, my third one was Toy Story. My third one was Toy Story because of all the things you mentioned. I also loved the aspects of like space and the aspects of like the cowboy and Andy and just relatable fun. I definitely grew up with that. So yeah, for me, if I was just naming my top three, Toy Story was the third one that came to mind as one of the ones that I loved as a kid.
Okay, awesome. Toy Story. That's
If
okay.
you had to choose another
allowed.
one, what would it be?
I need I don't have my phone on me. I need a list in front of me to
How about
pick.
we'll come back to you?
Okay, sure. I'm on
Repeats are allowed. I mean, I can think of some that he loves that I don't know if he would classify as Disney movies.
That's true.
That's the thing. Like,
I can think of other ones that I love.
Like he's a huge Star Wars fan. He's a huge like
But
Marvel
that's
fan.
Lucasfilm. Like Disney bought Star Wars.
Exactly.
You mean like even with Toy Story, technically it's Pixar, and sure they partnered with Disney to do this one, but like there's some that like otherwise Star Wars would 100% be on that list easily.
Yeah.
But like I let me look through this list real quick and come back to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is like I think you are kind of disqualifying them because of like how they were made versus then they were like kind of purchased. But they're still technically now Disney films that Disney has incorporated into their parks, and you love all of those stories. Ambrose, what about you? What's your third one?
So can we do the Simpsons movie since Disney bought Fox?
No.
I'm kidding. All right. I think it would still be Cars. Cars would be a big one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cars.
Just because, I kind of said, it still works out. But yeah, so I think Cars will be a good one because you have, once again, like the storytelling of how like his character changes over time, right? You have like Lightning McQueen Kachow, who is like this like proud race car, you know, like everything it's like given to me on a silver platter. You guys have to kind of bend to my will kind of thing. And he goes to this place where it's everyone's like Lightning Mahoo, you know, like what? Like they no one knows who he is and everything. It's really cool. And you have the great character of Doc Hudson, right? And everything just the world itself is so cool as well. How like another thing is I guess it has to do with like us guys, you know, like cars and like talking like toys and stuff. It's so cool. You can talk to your cars, whatever. And I think it's just the world itself was really cool. The story was great. The animation was phenomenal, and just I think Pixar does a really good job of like world building. I think it's
100%.
that's one of the big things I love about Cars as well.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
yeah, I think Cars up there. Yeah.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
just different parts of it. I guess like you know even the lazy cone like a motel. Even every single character is so unique. You have the hippie like hey natural oil guys, you know like and then you have like Sarge and you have like Luigi and like you know and like all racers like only Italian made. You know like it's so good. All the characters like
Yeah.
Ferrari. You know.
You know what's crazy? Like I
Hmm.
wasn't the biggest fan of Cars. I
Mm.
like it. It didn't like. It was like one of those ones that like kind of went under the radar for me.
Hmm.
Obviously, huge fan base. But I guess it just wasn't one that kind of hit with me as much. But I get that.
Yeah.
I looked through the list. A few that immediately popped up. The Lion King.
Ooh, nice.
Easily, even though it has like trauma, every Disney movie there has to be some parent that dies. But like you know, Lion
was
King for
intense.
sure. But the underrated one, almost like my dark horse one. You guys ever watch Atlantis?
Well, of course, dude.
Yeah.
That's one of the greatest ones.
I
Whoa.
love adventure and like all of that stuff. So like I saw that, I'm like, dude, that's the one. It took me to my childhood for a second. I remember watching it and recording it on my VCR. Like,
Nice.
Man, that's a great one too. Maybe we should make another list of like underrated ones that we gotta do like
Hey.
3 or 4 episodes of this, man.
yo.
Underrated Disney movies.
I have one more, but
Absolutely.
I feel like I'd be cheating if I just did more, so I'll pass.
Adventure Planet.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Okay, my last one, and this was a classic. This was one of my favorites growing up, The Little Mermaid. So classic princess story. I think out of all of them, I identified with Ariel the most because she had the most, like she was the most rebellious in nature. Like she had the most attitude on her as a like princess because the rest of them are like, oh,
That's
okay, okay, stepmother, I can't go out to the ball. Okay, I'm not gonna go, and she just cries about it, and like they all have their things. Whereas like Ariel is like, no, I'm gonna go see him again, even though you told me not to. And as
I'm gonna go get legs. You know?
yeah, exactly. As like a kid growing up, I definitely was that kid who talked back, who was not afraid to like make myself known in a room and like have a voice. And often that voice got me into a lot of trouble. So I feel like I identified with Ariel really well.
Yeah.
And so I really, really enjoyed that movie. I think also this, like the music is so catchy too. Like Under the Sea, Part of Your World, like some of those songs are still like some of my favorites.
Part of your world.
Yeah. And they like, honestly, even in terms of villains, like Ursula is one of the scarier Disney villains. So I feel like they made that movie so well. They gave it such a great like character arc, such a great like soundtrack. I think it was a really good movie for its time.
It's good.
Yeah, I can't wait for when her like place in like villain world or villain land. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
She's getting her own?
No, they're all the villains are
All the like,
gonna have an area.
Really? Well, I knew like they're doing Villain Land, but like I didn't know she's getting like her own little.
I'm not sure if she's getting her own, but like they're gonna for sure have Ursula. They're gonna have Maleficent. They're gonna have all these characters. Gonna all
all the
like
big ones.
like a
because
meet
they're so
and greet.
iconic.
Yeah, like a meet
Yeah,
and greet of
fair.
some sort at the very least.
Fair.
And there's going to be a villain show coming as well. So that's going to be
Cool.
a thing. Like that's going to incorporate them as well.
Wow. Okay, so I think a very practical question for all the park goers and park lovers is how are they represented in the park? Or how do you guys feel they're represented in the park based on the ones that you guys love?
I think
The
from my
sigh says a lot to
favorite movie,
Ambrose.
like I'm sighing because Tarzan does not have much. Okay. I
What does he
remember
have?
there
Does he
used to
have
be this.
anything?
They used to have the treehouse, but I think that's gone now. I believe it's been. I think it was like a place you can go and hang out or something. I can search it up in a bit. But like they used to have a treehouse for Tarzan. I remember there was also not in the parks, but outside the parks, there was like a musical as well a long time ago. But there's not much Tarzan stuff, I guess. So I think there needs to be more representation for Tarzan in the parks. I'm all for that. There might be coming up with all the new
I think the
renovation stuff.
I think the problem is that it's such old IP that like intellectual property that like people like the viewers of today aren't heavy Tarzan, and I think that's kind of the issue. Like when I think of Emperor's New Groove, I think it's so niche to us. That's why there's no real, Emperor's New Groove, character walking around or, yeah. But it's so weird because it's so selective. They have a bunch of Chip and Dale stuff. I've never watched Chip and Dale. I have no idea, who that was, until Dor you was like, hey, this is who they are. It's these characters. They're well known. Like, I don't know them.
I think Chip and Dale really appeals to like the older, the Disney adults because
Yeah.
like a lot of them who are a little bit older than us, some of them, right? They love Chip and Dale growing
Yeah.
up, right? The rescue, Chip and Dale rescue, and like there's also like giant chipmunks, very cute, right? So they're like marketable everywhere. But now I think of it, Tarzan. Who's Tarzan? The guy in a loincloth. Um, I don't know how like parents would be like, "Oh, go ahead, take a photo with the guy in the loincloth." I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
have kids, so I guess it's harder for that. But just the story itself, I wish there was a bit more stuff. But not every IP can have stuff. Right?
I mean, so yeah, you're right. There was a Tarzan like treehouse that was then like rethemed at Disneyland, not at Disney World.
Yeah.
And then there was a show, a musical like Tarzan show at Animal Kingdom for a few years.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
like up in like
It makes
1999
sense.
till 2006. Yeah, it does fit. It does fit the theming of Animal Kingdom. But there's also so many other animal movies that are more popular that it makes sense that that's shifted
Yeah.
since then.
It's unfortunate. Like for example, they have chipmunks in Emperor's New Groove, but I guess it's just not the audience. I'm sure Disney has.
It was a squirrel, by the way.
There's a squirrel. Yeah.
Oh, was it a squirrel? So whatever, close enough. Chipmunk,
Big
squirrel.
fan.
I don't
I'm kidding.
know
I'm
what the
kidding.
I don't know the differences. Some cute rodent.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
But like even like Atlantis and other things like Hercules. What do you have for Hercules in any of the parks?
Yeah, there's not much for Hercules. I know that Hercules was getting like a lounge or something at one of the cruise lines. I think it was the Disney Treasure, but I'm not sure if it was the Treasure or the Dream maybe. But one of them is getting like a Hercules lounge and which is basically like a bar. And that's kind of like the only Disney Hercules representation. I think they might even have some Hercules theming in the rooms on one of the cruise lines.
I think the difference between Hercules and like Tarzan, because Hercules, they're seen a lot in Not So Scary Halloween. Like Hades has its own like little area. Like when he gets angry, the whole thing lights up like red and stuff. And you see them in parks a bit more. Like I think I saw Meg at parks, but like Hades gets way more love than because
Yeah.
Not So Scary Halloween.
Yeah.
So it's the Disney Destiny. So on the Disney Destiny, there's like a Hercules cafe, and then they're doing some like Hercules theming for some of the rooms.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of Hercules. They are bringing some of those like old IPs back in different ways that are appealing to like. It makes sense. Disney Cruise Line. It is a lot of adults who are cruising, and so it would make sense that they would incorporate it on a cruise line.
And it's smart because they know who have the money. They're like, okay, so this age group that we sold them on are now in the age group where they have money to spend and are looking to do these things. And so perfect. Now we'll create it for their age group so that way we can pull their money. And so it makes sense.
Yeah. So
I was just gonna say I love the representation of Toy Story all throughout Magic.
Yes.
Magic Kingdom.
but before you go into that, like, go
Yeah.
back to Hercules for a second. Like, do you think that there was a way that they could better incorporate Hercules?
I don't know. I thought there's definitely a way they could incorporate Tarzan easily in Animal Kingdom. Like, put
Yeah.
on some clothes and just have him walk around. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it makes sense. It doesn't take much. It's a costume. You know, what are you gonna spend? Like $400-500 on a costume for him?
What costume does he wear? He wears a loincloth.
No,
All
like,
he needs
put on
is
some clothes.
you just
Make it
need a-
G-rated.
You just need a man with long hair and a loincloth. Like, that's such a low budget costume.
But like, I don't know. For me, I think that they kind of
Maybe some kind of like Tarzan, like those like rope adventures that you go through like a tree. Maybe that
Oh,
might be
that
nice
would
fun.
be so cool. Yeah, like
And the kids
almost
can
like,
line up and
like a treetop
yeah,
trekking,
exactly
like
for
park.
that.
You could totally incorporate that at Animal Kingdom.
Tarzan's treetop trekking. TTT.
That's so cool. That I would love.
Hey,
that.
that's trademarked, Disney, by the way, if you copy that. That's trademarked.
They do
Yeah,
have
we'll negotiate about
TM.
releasing the idea too.
they do have
We'll take
treetop trekking.
loyalty.
They do have treetop trekking at like one of the Asia parks. I think maybe in Japan, but it's not Tarzan themed. But if they're already doing that, then they should do that here at Animal Kingdom, and they should make it Tarzan themed. That's
Straight up,
so
they missed
perfect.
out. They decided to do treetop trekking.
Say that 5 times fast.
treetop trekking, again. But like, and then they just
Maybe
went
even
like,
because they have like treetop trekking in like some cruise ships. Maybe they can even theme that, right?
That's cool. Yeah.
I don't know, it makes sense. But anyhow,
Hercules.
nah, I don't know. I can't
Well,
think
Hercules,
of a
I
way.
have an idea. Okay, I have so many. Okay, a dark ride, but it's like themed of like the battle of on the way to to Olympus and all the different titans and stuff. That would be phenomenal. That's like a really great dark ride.
Okay.
But
Like more of a
wait, but
3D
where?
kind of vision. Where that would be? Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, so are you ready for this?
Yeah.
In the new, I'm thinking of the new like new lands at the building. There's the new Encanto area, but then no, that wouldn't work. I don't know. That's the
New
different
Encanto
how-
area, like in
No, I'm saying
Epcot?
that's why it's difficult.
No, but maybe it's just having like that Hades at the villain land, like having
Yeah, that
more
would-
Hades.
I don't care about
representation.
Hades. He's a bad guy. I don't want Hades. I want Hercules.
Yeah, we're not villain fans over here.
Yeah.
I enjoy Hades. Hades is a villain that I enjoy.
Okay, so Emperor's New Groove. I'm gonna just knock out the ones that don't have a lot of representation in the parks. Emperor's New Groove. I personally like. I don't think there's much, if anything, for Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
But what I think would be really, really cool is, so they have the water parks in Disney World. They have Blizzard Beach
Oh,
and they have
that's a great
Typhoon
idea.
Lagoon.
That's a great idea. Wow.
And so they've rethemed, like Blizzard Beach is kind of Elsa, like Frozen-y, because it's all blizzardy. So they have some like aspects of Frozen incorporated. So if they made Typhoon Lagoon Cusco-topia, because that was his whole
That's-
thing, was he was gonna build his Cusco-topia and it was gonna be all like water park and slide and pool, like all the stuff. So if they made it Cusco-topia, I feel like that
amazing.
is such a cool retheme that would, like, you're already doing you already have a water park, and it's not,
Yeah.
the water parks are not doing that well. I would say, like, they're kind of overlooked, and so incorporate some more of those IPs that you know people love and like give it a fresh look.
Yeah.
That is actually
great
amazing
idea.
because then you
That
actually
is-
can make it whatever you want. Because in the movie, it's so like just like a giant like thing. You don't know what's in it, but you can add whatever you want and be like, that's part of the theme. That's so good.
Yeah.
Nice story.
Yeah, and
And
then we
then you
can
can
have
even add like a. Go
we
ahead.
can have him. We can have Kronk meet and greets. We can have Cusco and Yzma, and we can have a place that a little snack
Pull the
stand.
lever! And
little
you can
snack-
have a drop where you get dropped into the water.
Oh, drop down the big
Pull
slide.
the
Yeah.
lever! Wrong lever, Gronk!
That would be amazing.
Hold on,
I was
hold
thinking
on.
that, like, they have some kind of drop. Yeah.
A snack stand, guys. A snack stand where they
With
sell the
the
spinach puffs.
yes.
Can you imagine being able to eat Kronk's spinach puffs? Like that's like you the it just sells itself. The tickets sell itself.
Yeah.
That is a great idea. Wow.
Disney, that's trademark too. Just we gotta talk royalties afterwards.
You can't take it from us. We'll negotiate.
Yeah, they should honestly they should consult me for Imagineering purposes. I am full of ideas. Okay, so what was your second one, Ambrose? Toy Story?
Toy Story, yeah.
Okay, so Toy Story. What do you think of Toy Story?
No, like what Ruben's saying, I think they already have a really good representation. What did I just say? Representation. Representation. Reference. Can't even say the word anymore. But they have a great example of what's in the park already. Like,
Yeah.
Toy Story Land, great. How everything it's like. I love the theming, especially in like Toy Story Mania and all that stuff. The theming is so good because you have like the giant things already, all the stuff it's ready put. Um, the only thing that I wish they did better was maybe Pizza Planet, because you do have like the little the Pizza Planet like quick serve restaurants, right? I wish like it could be more like arcadey, has like more things inside, and I think one of the things I really loved as a kid is that scene with Toy Story when they go and drink water and they have those aliens that like bleh, and then you're like, oh, I think that would be really cool to do. So Toy Story is already good. I think they have a great um, they do really well in the parks with Toy Story theming. So I think we don't need to add extra things. I think it's really good.
So, Pizza Planet.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about that, because that's not a Florida thing. That is a Disneyland thing.
Oh,
And
okay.
they opened up a couple years ago. They opened up like a new restaurant for Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios, and it was Woody's Roundup Barbecue, which I've heard mixed reviews about. We have never tried. I'm not out here trying to have like a full sit down meal every time we go to the parks, so we haven't tried it. But at the time when they were opening up, they were like, "Yeah, we're opening up a new like dining location." It just made sense for it to be Pizza Planet, and they used to have it apparently, but it was like crappy pizza. Nobody really liked it, and it closed, and it became what is now Pizza Rizzo, which is also closing. So their success rate for pizza at the parks, especially like the Florida side, has not been good. And I feel like if they had just made better pizza and rethemed it as Pizza Planet again, it would have been so good. So we missed out on that. So what's that like over at Disneyland?
Disneyland, I think it's honestly when you go in, you're like, oh, it's pizza, and then it's kind of overpriced pizza. Because when I think like
Every theme park.
I mean, but then the idea is like it's really cool because it kind of it's how to say it's like a restaurant, but they don't lean. I think they don't lean enough into Pizza Planet. It could be way more Pizza Planet.
So they don't have
right?
like the claw and like
Oh, there's no like those like aliens that you put your cups to and blah, 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 blah. No, there's none of that. It's more of like just it's themed really nicely. It's really good, but it's it's I think it leans more towards the functionality of like actual being quick serve location.
Okay,
Because
cool.
you go in, there's a lot of chairs and everything, but
Yeah.
I think they should lean into it more.
See, Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios is so well done. It's so cool.
It's one of the best.
Like
100%.
you
one of
walk
the
in, you
best.
genuinely feel like you are a toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're all of a sudden you're like, I'm shrunk down. I'm a toy. Like,
Yeah, they
I
do a
am
really
toy
good job
size.
with the.
Giant toy blocks, giant soldiers. You're walking basically with all of these like giant toys. You feel like you are one of the small.
Everything everything you come into contact with, like you sit on a bench and it's made of like popsicle sticks or like matches or little dominoes or toy blocks, things like that. Like everything that makes up the furniture around you, the gates, everything is all like toys, and it looks like it's supposed to be Andy's backyard, right? Like he made this little toy town out of his backyard, and it really does look like a little kid put this together out of like whatever he had, like staples and paper clips and like pencils and things like that. It's so cool. I love, and at night when they light it up, it's so nice. It's so bright and colorful. It feels like a big carnival, which is so much fun.
Well, I personally never been to there because I've only been to this Magic Kingdom. But I'm talking about Pixar Pier in Disney, California, DCA, right? And I think it's there. It's really good, and it's like because it's the queue of like Toy Story Mania. That's like so good. Like even in Japan, like you have everything. It's huge and stuff. You guys have played Toy Story Mania, right?
Yes. Yeah, they do have Toy Story Mania in Florida in
Multiple
Hollywood
times.
Studios.
Good,
That is so
When
much
you
fun.
go in, me and my wife are no longer married. We're not friends. We're like, the same for you guys a little bit. No.
No, it's different because every time we've gone in, we're going in with our kids. Like we've never
True,
done it
true.
just
You
the
guys
two of
have to
us.
be civil, But if your
Yeah.
kids weren't there, you'd be like, watch and learn.
Yeah.
I understand.
It's not only that, it's like we're going in,
Mm-hmm.
usually you're sitting there with like I had the last time I went, I had Mila and Lucas. So Mila was sitting next to me and like
true.
Lucas on my lap. I'm not
They would be
shooting.
playing with the thing.
Yeah, I'm not shooting. It's like Mila's shooting and I'm trying to like help redirect her and then Lucas is like trying to shoot and he's not really
Missing
getting
out.
it. So it's not the same, but it is such a
Oh, for sure,
fun
for sure.
like I've done it before with when I've gone with my parents. So that one was more competitive. Like everybody's trying to shoot. My dad always used to win those kinds of shooter rides. But yeah, it's not as competitive right now with the kids, but it's still so much fun. It's such a cool ride. It's one of our favorites, one of their favorites too.
What about the Buzz Lightyear like blaster? I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
You guys been on that?
Yeah, for us it's called Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. And
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
one,
something like that.
yeah, and that's also a good one. That's like it's more old school, more like classic tech.
The little target things that you
lasers.
shoot.
Yeah.
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 Do you know that I've actually maxed out the score on that one?
What?
What?
That's crazy.
But I cheated a little bit, sad to say, because the park, the ride like broke down. So we're sitting there. I'm just like shooting nonstop. My wife is like, like because everyone's doing it first, right? And after a while, we were in there for a little bit. And my wife's like, you can stop. I'm like, no, I must break the record. So then,
That's so
yeah.
funny. Okay. Yeah, so Toy
that's
Story.
I have a photo. That's one of my greatest accomplishments in the park.
Yay.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, Toy Story is you get Toy
Well,
Story flavor really well all throughout Disney World, in my opinion. The one that I feel like could use more personally is Monsters Inc. I feel like the only thing with Monsters Inc. is you have a show that is one of the best shows in all of Walt Disney World, in my opinion, in Magic Kingdom. And so you have the comedy show with Mike Wazowski. What's the show called?
It's Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
The Laugh. Yes.
So Mike Wazowski is the host,
Yes.
or like the MC.
Yeah.
And the whole point is it's like a comedy show and they're trying to make you laugh so that they can fill up their like
Oh,
tank.
nice.
So
Yeah.
that one of the best shows all of Walt Disney World, in my opinion. But then they also have character meet and greet in Hollywood Studios. So we got to meet Sully when we went there, and our kids loved meeting Sully. Surprisingly, we weren't that scared. And so, but other than that, I can't think of anything else that you can do when it comes to Monsters Inc. And it's good, but personally,
But
when
it's
you
coming.
see it's coming.
But it's coming.
What do you mean?
Hollywood Studios. Okay, so Hollywood Studios, the re-theme of basically the entire like Muppets courtyard is going to be Monsters Inc.
What?
It's going to be Monstropolis. So the whole thing is going to be like monsters themed, and then there's going to be the Monsters Inc. It's going to be a ride where it's like the swinging doors. The doors.
I
with the
was just
conveyor
about to
belt.
say.
Yeah,
so
no,
that's coming.
great things are coming. It's really
I
exciting.
was just
for
about to
any-
say, and legit, before you cut me off, I was about to say they're missing out on the Riding the Doors ride.
Yeah, so that's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. Monsters, Muppets Courtyard is closing this year.
Okay.
In, I think, June. I remember because I was like, oh, we're going in May. I need to go see Muppets 3D before it closes because it's the last time I can see it. So it's closing in June, and then they're starting the entire retheme. They're moving the Muppets over. Muppets are going to take over Rock and Roller Coaster. and it's gonna be somehow Muppets themed. I have no idea what's happening there.
Rock and roller coaster?
Yeah, it's gonna be like instead of Aerosmith, it's gonna be Muppets. I don't know, but that's happening. And then Muppets Courtyard is closing, and it's gonna be like Monstropolis.
Okay.
So that's gonna be really, really cool. I think that'll be really well done. And Disney's really clever about this because as much as there's already like Monsters Inc. laugh floor at Magic Kingdom, if you're a Monsters Inc. fan, you're gonna have to go to both lands because you're gonna want to do both, right?
Yeah, they keep doing that. Like Loki, it's so annoying, but like they keep doing that. They're
But
like,
Loki is also so smart.
Sure, but it's still annoying. It's just like you can meet in Mirabelle in Magic Kingdom, this one little area that we've themed for her, but you want to go to a much larger place where there's more Encanto stuff, then you have to go to Epcot, like, or even like Moana.
No, Animal Kingdom. They're putting a ride for her in Animal Kingdom.
Right. That's the new one. I'm talking
Yeah.
about like the show that they had for her in.
Oh yeah, the
Epcot.
shows in Epcot. Yeah.
But then even Moana, right? Like Moana is a little bit split up as well. So I don't know, like.
Yeah. I think part of it is also though, like if you think about it, for us, when we take, I mean, we'll get into it a little bit because we have a surprise guest for today's show. So Arabella is going to join us for a few minutes, and she's
Nice.
going to share her favorite because she's homesick from school. And when she shares her favorite, like you'll see kind of what we're talking about, and that'll be like every place that you go to, you want to have some of that representation because you want your kids to be interested. When we go to Epcot, which is a very adult park, they have some representation for kids who are like, I'm not here about eating and drinking around the world. Like, they don't care. But they get rides that they enjoy, they get characters that they enjoy, meet and greets that they enjoy. So a place like Epcot, there's so many characters for them to meet, which is so much fun for them, and it keeps them busy and occupied, and so they're not whining between every pavilion as you're going around eating and drinking around the world.
In my opinion, Epcot is the place where you meet the most characters. Like, it's the most, in my opinion, time-wise, organized-wise, when you schedule, like, from the time you enter the parks to when pavilions start to open up, when you can actually eat food, and when characters start to come out to actually meet and greet people, you get the best amount of, like, open time to meet characters at Epcot. And then you have Frozen, which is the biggest kid ride in my opinion. Like Arabelle will probably tell you that's probably her favorite ride. And then Ratatouille.
Yeah.
Like that is a huge kid ride. And then they have other things as well. Like they have the one that you love, that she loves too, where you can smell places like India.
Oh, Soaring Around the World.
Soaring Around the World. And that's just like a fun one. Yeah. So like, yeah, Epcot has a lot of things for kids. Like, and I get it. I get the rationale. But at the same time, I don't want to have to go to 4 parks every single time. And Disney, smart enough, went, yeah, right, we're going to make you. Like, you think you're going to avoid Animal Kingdom? Okay. We're going to put Cali River Rapids, where it's a fun water ride in hot Florida. We're gonna put the Avatar ride there. We're gonna, like, what else do they have that our kids
We're opening
love?
a new land there too. It's gonna be filled with.
They're gonna love Encanto. Like, that's gonna be a big deal.
Finding Nemo is there.
Yeah.
That's another movie that should go on our.
We should make like a top 5 or top list of like all Pixar movies. Okay,
Yeah.
we should have made this one
Pixar on its own is like a whole different topic because Pixar has so
Pixar's
many
so good.
classics.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. Let's go back to what we're talking about. So, we did Toy Story.
I almost
we
said
did
Blue's
Monsters,
Clues,
Inc.
but Monster Inc.
We did Hercules. We did Emperor's New Groove, and we did Tarzan, which is nothing. Okay, so the only 2 left are mine. So
No, Cars. Disney World
Cars.
has
Wait,
no
before
Cars.
we say, I think there's a new thing in Disney Tokyo, I believe, Japan. They have a Monster Inc. ride, where it's like a slow, it's like a dark ride, and you have like little flashlights, and it's like a hide and seek version. So it's like, because then you also have the California one,
Yeah.
which once again it's not the greatest because it's like you know the whole story of like how it's rethemed from the
Yeah.
paparazzi, and then that one's not bad, but then the whole like Monster Inc. thing, it's the majority it's like off to the corner, and it's kind of like this big like backdrop thing that's like built. That's it.
Yeah.
So
Well, there is
Metropicals,
some other.
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, so that's true. There is some other Monsters Inc. themed stuff in other parks.
But there's no like specific area which
This is
I'm
coming.
excited for.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot, like, it's funny because, like, if you want to see all this new stuff, like, the next couple of years are major at Disney. We're really excited because we're going for the first time since Tiana's Bayou Adventure opened. And so that's one that I'm really excited about because, like I said, Tiana's is, like, Princess and the Frog is one of my favorites. And so I'm so excited to see, like, to ride that ride. I have a lot of memories of Splash Mountain. So they've
You're gonna miss it.
No.
Okay, got it.
Splash Mountain was always the ride that, like, my family went on because they were like, it's hot, let's get wet. And then we'd go on it,
Sure.
and then I would spend the next, like, 4 hours like, oh my gosh, I'm wet, and I'm sloshing around, and I don't feel comfortable. But I never really enjoyed it that much. And they have this funny picture of us, like, going down it when we were little. And so my brother was sitting right at the front. At the time, it was, like, there was no seatbelts, no, like, nothing. It was just you hold on to these, like, little bars. So my brother was sitting at the very front, and then my dad was sitting behind him, and then I was sitting behind him, and then my mom. And so because my dad was in front of me, I couldn't really see. So in, like, my brother was sitting in the back, so he couldn't really see. So in the picture, they got going down the mountain as we're getting splashed. I'm sitting at the very front, and I'm like, because I'm, like, 5, and I can see everything. And my brother, who's 3 at the time, is sitting there. He's kind of like, because he can't see anything. He has no idea what's going on. So I have, like, these memories of it, like, growing up, but I really want to go see it now that it's been rethemed. I feel like the theming was so lackluster before. I was not, like, a fan. It never really pulled me. And so now I'm like, okay, I want to see this. I want to see the new, Tiana animatronics. I want to see the new songs. I feel like it's gotten a big glow up, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
And
See,
then
I that's great. You know, the thing that always sticks out to me though is, like, change the ride. Make the ride a little bit different. Like, don't give me the same ride, just, you know, putting new lipstick on. Like, personally, like, great. I've never been on it before, so I'm gonna go on it to enjoy it, and I'm sure it'll be fun, although I'm not excited to get wet. But, like, at the same time, like, if you're Disney, you got your budget, you have all of the storylines, you can create new stuff. It was already down for what, more than a year, I think. Like I didn't think it would have taken too much to even just change up the ride a little bit. Don't give me the same exact experience, but, you know, we'll see. I'll let you know once we ride it. I'll let you know.
Yeah, no, I think the last standing Splash Mountain is in Japan. I think that's the last one. And I don't know. I enjoyed Splash Mountain. Sometimes you're like, what's going on? But at the same time, also, as someone who used to be really scared of birds, the birds are too big in those rides.
yeah.
When you go down, they're singing, they're too big. That's what I feel. But yeah.
I don't even know what
You let me
birds
know
you're talking-
how the ride goes. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think
Will.
I think me and Viv, the next time we go to Disney might be like next year. Maybe in, like, I don't know. But next year we're probably going.
Nice.
So you guys are going first, so pave the way.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to go on this ride. I've been watching videos about it. I've been, like, trying to see what it's all about. And then they brought in some of that, like, New Orleans flavor because they have now the beignets at Golden Oak Outpost, and they have, at one point they had a lot more stuff. They had jumbo, and they had gumbo. Sorry, not jumbo.
Maybe jumbo gumbo. We don't know.
Jumbo gumbo.
I don't know what's happening today. Everybody can't speak. But yeah, they had gumbo, they had all sorts of other things. And then now I'm just seeing that they have, like, some Cajun, like, chicken and, like, sweet potatoes. So it's not, like, a ton of stuff, but they still have some things. And then there's Tiana representation all over the parks because they have her meet and greets everywhere. Like, you can meet her at Magic Kingdom, you can meet her at Epcot, you can meet her at various, like, dining situations, like character dining situations, and she's in like some of the shows and the parades and stuff. So there's a lot of Tiana already. It's not as much as like a big land. Like I know that in Disneyland they have a lot more stuff because they have like New Orleans Square, they have like her restaurant and like Tiana's place, and they have like other things. But I know that it still feels like you get a lot of her in the Disney World parks.
That's cool.
I think to like to continue on with the theming I still cannot say that word. You missed it, Ruben.
Yeah,
I could not say that word. I've suddenly lost how to say representation.
It's the snow. You know, the snow is affecting our connection, and we can't talk properly. They just can't hear it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I'm just shivering here. You know, it's so cold right now, especially being in a t-shirt. But
Cute snow
Cars
effects.
to this day, Cars in the parks is one of the greatest lands. Okay, if you ever go back to California, go. It's phenomenal. When you go in, you see Radiator Springs. I don't think there's a better way to do it. It's coming to Disney, coming to Florida, which is great. They have one in I think it's the
They're doing it at Magic Kingdom, like behind like Adventureland, Frontierland,
like Tom Sawyer's Island,
that
and then they're
area,
changing a lot of that. Yeah.
Wow.
So hopefully they make it really good. But Toys Land in California, it's like to this day, dare I say, the best themed land I've been to. Okay,
I've heard that.
Fair.
it's really good. Like you go in, you're like, oh that thing, and you can literally get food from the Lazy Clone.
Is it
Like,
Cozy
it's-
Cone? Cozy Cone or Lazy Cone?
Cozy, yeah, not lazy, that's me. But the Cozy Cone, like motel, and then you can get like the little thing, and then Lightning McQueen is driving by and like stop, and you can like, I wanted to take a photo with him, but then I had to eat the food, and I hate how they closed the lines for the photos with the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
wait, you would put Cars. So for me, the best like land in terms of aesthetic and the immersiveness is Star Wars Land. You would put Cars above Star Wars Land?
Oh, 100%. The reason I say
Wow.
that because wait before you crucify me, let me continue. I think it would be that because Cars, it's like it puts you in the movie, the world. Whereas, you know, in like Star Wars, it's a whole different place. It's Batu, you know, the dark I forgot the name, but the different island. It's like different planet, right? It's a
Yeah.
whole new area. Whereas
Yeah.
Cars, you're directly in the Cars land. You see all the things, you experience all the things. Don't get me wrong. Star Wars is up there too. Okay, so it's only by a little bit, Ruben. Don't worry, it's only by a little bit.
Well, I'm gonna have to at some point visit and see Disneyland Cars, and
Because you can go to both of them in that same land, so you're good.
yeah. And I guess we'll have to
Yeah.
see. That's insane.
Actually, no, it's not. It's different lands, but then it's really close. But it's like, trust me, it's up there.
Okay,
it's so good.
Okay. This is a way out left field question, but you've been to Universal Orlando, right?
No, I've been to in Japan. So I experienced Harry Potter.
But they have Harry Potter.
No,
Okay. So compare the lands, Cars versus Harry Potter. Immersiveness, creativity, aesthetics.
So, no, they're all like really close. Because I haven't been to the one in Florida. I know the one in Florida is phenomenal because it has because the one in Japan only had Hogsmeade.
Okay.
The Diagon Alley, Gringotts, and Hogsmeade, like those are all like, so they're all really close for me from Star Wars because I love Star Wars. Okay, hot take: I personally don't like the new sequels as much. Okay,
Fair.
and in the park, those are more represented. Okay, I said the word. So that's why I don't like Star Wars Land as much. If it had more OG characters, I would love Star Wars Land above Cars Land for sure.
Fair.
Okay, that's a fair point.
But you didn't tell me Cars or Harry Potter. Which land wins?
As of what I've experienced so far, I would say.
I stumped
Let me,
him.
okay, let me continue. As of now, I would say because I've not experienced the full experience, you know, like the dragon, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've only experienced,
Hogsmeade.
Hogsmeade.
you know, Hogsmeade in a language that I don't really speak, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Cars.
Though they had a lot of actors from like other country. I feel like a lot of them were Americans speaking in British accents. I don't know, um, but I would say for me personally, Cars Land is up there because I went
Okay.
there because like because I only had one day to do the whole park because
Mm-hmm.
normally you had to go from back and forth and different things.
Yeah.
That was the only part of the place where I went back a couple of times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Went back late night because when you go back late night, the lights are all out too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So it's very different. So
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I've
I would
heard
say
that.
Cars Land for.
I've heard from people who don't even really love Cars that it's one of the best, if not the best, themed land. So
Insane.
I completely get that. I I haven't watched any of the Cars movies, but I want to because I know that there's a Cars Land coming to Florida, and we want to eventually go to Disneyland, and so I want to watch it before then. But I've heard that the land is really cool. Okay, last one.
I feel like the reason why you don't want to go to California is because of the castle. But
No, I want to go. I want to go. It's just that because it's so much smaller, I'm like, can I justify an entire week there and then travel all the way there and back? And it's a little bit more expensive. Like California is more
That's true.
expensive than
Yeah.
Florida. Okay, my last movie, The Little Mermaid. So Little Mermaid, classic. There is Under the Sea, Journey of the Little Mermaid, which is actually not a super old ride, but it like within the last 15 years or so, I would say. And it's like that iconic like dark omni mover ride. You're in it like a clamshell. Love that. It's a kid friendly ride. Your kids can ride it. Anyone can ride it. It does seem to stop a lot, which is a little bit frustrating because
That's
it
an
has
understatement.
trouble.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, it has trouble with the load on and off. But like if it doesn't stop, it's a great ride.
That's such an over exaggeration.
Anyways, don't hate on it. It's one of those rides that like I love to go on, and so we do go on it frequently. And every time everyone's like, "Wow, why are we going on this?"
In my opinion, it's a ride that if it didn't have the IP, it belongs in some. The ride belongs in some rinky-dinky fair across the street.
But it
in
does
my
have the
opinion.
IP. So
And again, for me, a nostalgia factor, which is why people love it so much. It's like this is the ride that's been here for a really long time. But like the
is it
actual
the same ride that's in DCA or is it different?
I'm not sure
I don't
what's in
know.
DCA, but it's an omnimover ride, and it just goes through the story.
You're in a shell, and
with the
yeah, exactly.
animatronics
Oh
and the
yeah,
dark ride.
yeah. No.
So
Really, I think that ride's pretty good. Well,
I think
the one's
he just
experience
doesn't-
is pretty good.
I think he just doesn't like because it stops a lot, and so you kind of get pulled out of like the moment,
Oh.
which I get.
You can only
But-
see like those characters going up and down so many times, right?
Yeah.
And this is Sebastian that speaks. Like where he's just like,
Oh,
it
yeah.
looks like you've stopped. We'll be right back. Hold on for a little bit or whatever.
Oh, Ruben, I'm totally opposite of what you said. I think it's a phenomenal ride. I think it's a great ride. I think because when I went to what's the name? When I first went to Disney, right, Magic Kingdom, that's the first ride I think we really went on that was like wow. Because when you go down and the water goes up and everything, you're like whoa. And I think
Yeah.
so. I'm against that statement, Ruben. I don't agree with you.
Yeah,
But
you feel
no,
like you're
it's-
being submerged under the sea. It's yeah, no, he's a hater. He doesn't like the dark rides.
That's not true.
No.
I love.
You can bring
Pirate-
flashlight. You'll just destroy everyone else's immersion.
I love Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's
I
true.
love Pirates of the Caribbean. It's one of my favorites. But I'm not a huge fan of, talk about like Peter Pan. Talk about that ride. Talk about It's a Small World.
I know,
Not
I
a
know.
big fan. I know, man. I'm the odd one out. I get it. But I love the IP, but do good with the IP. You can do good with the IP. You're a $1 billion organization. You could do way more with this IP.
Okay, so let's talk about the IP because you can meet Ariel at her grotto, which is really cool meet and greet because you're meeting her kind of in like the cave style setup. Ironically, that character meet and greet gets usually a longer line than the actual ride. Then there's the Prince Eric's like marketplace or something, which is like basically nothing. You can buy like the big turkey legs, which we're not fans of.
exactly.
And, like,
right
the
from
pretzels
right
and-
from the movie. Yeah, turkey
Yeah.
legs from the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much happening there. And then they have the at Hollywood Studios, they have Meet the live action Ariel.
Okay.
And then they had a show a Little Mermaid show that they closed down.
In Hollywood Studios.
And it's been closed for so many years now. Closed during COVID and it hasn't reopened. No. But they are finally reopening it. They've made a whole new show and it's reopening, I think, this fall.
Oh, so we're not going to get to see it.
Yeah, we're not going to get to see it. But I saw that. And I was like, that is so exciting. I have to go back just for that show.
That could be really good, yeah.
So that's really cool. So they do have a lot of, and then of course you can meet Ariel in so many places. You meet her as a mermaid, like with her tail at the grotto, but then you can also meet her in human form with her legs at like different dining situations like Akershus or like at Cinderella's Royal Table. She's in a lot of the parades and a lot of the shows. So you get to meet Ariel in a lot of like various contexts too. And then once in a while during like special events, I think they have like the princesses with the princes like walking around. So sometimes Prince Eric is there too.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
to wrap it up, you want to hear from our special guest?
I'm gonna add up on that. One second before we do that.
Yeah.
Are you ready? You guys, I've said this numerous times. You guys need to go to Disney
Land?
Tokyo. Disney, in Tokyo, because they have the huge Mermaid Lagoon. Basically, it's basically gonna be Dora's like dream location.
Yeah.
Outside, it's a full castle of the castle in Little Mermaid. They have inside. It's phenomenal. They have like the jumping jellyfish. They have the whole grotto. You can go in. You can sing part of your world if you want. You can see all the stuff. Like they have the statue of Prince Eric.
That's
and
cool.
Everything, and then they have like a little water play place, and it's so good. It's like, I don't know, maybe next time we'll put up some photos, but like it's so good. And they also have like the giant whale that you can walk into, and like you need to go there. I think.
Yeah, we want to.
In Japan, it's really like well represented. So I can't say the word. This is gonna be such a thing that bothers me for the whole day. But everywhere else, not as much. But in Japan, it's phenomenal. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Like we want to go on that trip in the next 2 to 3 years for sure. For sure. Yeah. Okay, so our special guest, come up.
Hi.
Come here. So here is our special guest, Arabella. So Arabella, how old are you?
6.
You're 6? Okay. And what is your favorite Disney movie?
Frozen.
Frozen?
One
Good?
or two?
Frozen 1 or 2?
2.
2. Okay. But you still love Frozen 1?
Yeah.
And your favorite princess, not princess, your favorite queen is? Elsa. Okay, awesome. So we'll talk a little bit about, just briefly, because Frozen, I think, is one of those, like, major phenomenons that, like, almost every family, if you have a little girl in your family, then you have an Elsa fan, probably. So you are going to be looking for those Frozen, like, attractions, Frozen, like, IP everywhere. And they've done this really well, because I remember at the time when they were first starting to, like, bring Frozen into the parks, they had Frozen. They had a meet and greet for Elsa and Anna at Magic Kingdom in Fantasy, like the Fantasy, whatever it's called, that in Fantasyland in like the backside of the castle, essentially. And so they had a meet and greet for them. And then they also they developed like the Frozen sing-along show at Hollywood Studios. So you would go there, and it kind of made sense because you're like shows at Hollywood Studios, because Hollywood Studios was all about the shows back then. So it made sense that they did it there. And then they had the meet and greet for Olaf there too. But then all of a sudden they were like, let's build a Frozen attraction. And what better place to put it than in Epcot, in the Norway Pavilion, because Arendelle is very similar in culture to Norway. It's based on some of those Nordic like cultures and customs. So they put it in Norway. So they built the Frozen Ever After ride there, which is honestly, like, Arabella, is that your favorite ride?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your favorite ride.
Nice.
The animatronics are really cool. They're kind of a new like style of animatronic. The ride itself goes through the story of like the first Frozen movie, but it has some like twists and turns along the way that are really fun and exciting, and everybody gets to like engage in them. And the music as well is super catchy because it's Frozen. So that's fun. And then they have like the meet and greet. They moved it there in their summer house. So you can meet Elsa and Anna in their summer house at Epcot. And you can go to Akershus, which is there, and have a princess like dinner or princess breakfast, whatever you would like, and meet a bunch of different princesses. So it's a very cool like way that they've incorporated them. But because Elsa is iconic and she is one of their most growing popular characters, they have her at Magic Kingdom in the shows and in the fireworks and in everything. Like no matter where you go, you are going to kind of get a little touch of Elsa. So you're going to get her at Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and at Epcot. I guess they don't really have her at Animal Kingdom, but like I said, they do have some aspects of Frozen at Blizzard Beach as well. So there are some really cool touches, and Frozen is just kind of booming. And I wonder how they're going to incorporate it as well with like Frozen 2, because I'm sure they're going to start doing stuff with Frozen 2. But they also have at in Japan, they have Fantasy Springs, which has like a whole Arendelle section, which is so cool. Like when I saw that, I was like, we have to go. Like we have to go before our kids outgrow their Frozen love. We have to go, because right now, like Arabella, Mila, even Lucas, like Lucas loves Olaf. He loves what he calls Sven instead of Sven. So we have to go, and we have to kind of experience that because it looked so cool.
Okay, before we send you off, Arabella, what would you say your favorite ride in all of Walt Disney World is?
Ooh, good question. Because there's so many good ones, right?
Just one. Pick one.
I don't know.
Okay, fine.
Frozen?
Let me ask you a different question. What do you like better, the Frozen ride or the Frozen show?
That's a great question.
The Frozen show.
The show? Why? Because you like the songs?
And
And the smell.
I love that you can like sing along, and also I love that there's like little like fake snow. Yeah.
Elsa makes it snow. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, say bye,
Thank
honey.
you, Arabella.
Bye. That's one where they go like, people always yell puddle, but they're like, stop that. That's one, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna add also that like they also have Arendelle in Hong Kong Disney as well.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
So if you guys are ever going to Japan, you can have a stop one day in Hong Kong, go to Disney in Hong Kong, and then go to.
Yeah, and we should do Shanghai as well.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I
That
mean,
sounds
if
like
we're
a
already
crazy-
going, probably going to Asia, we might as well make it
Yeah,
a
you
bit-
might as well, right?
Hey, if somebody wants to sponsor us, we'll go. 100%.
Oh, 100%. I'll be there too.
We'll cover it live.
Okay, I
Awesome.
mean, I think that's all we have for this episode.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening, if you've listened to this far, and I hope that you're able to enjoy, not only hearing about some of our favorites, but able to reminisce and think about some of your favorite movies and the ways that they're represented in the parks. And if we've touched on any of your favorites, let us know. Reach out and let us know what your favorites are, and maybe we want to cover them in a future episode.
Awesome. Well, that's all we have for you today from north of the castle. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.